Alright, so we have reached the third act of our journey, but let's go over the rules again, because there is a little change. First rule, we can only use the main character. Second rule, we can only use the level 1 dull blade. Now, some of you may be confused by this change, but let me explain. This is what the dull blade looks like in the Inazuma cutscenes, and this is what the dull blade looks like when it's ascended to level 50. And since this challenge was designed to be lore accurate, I'm going to use the level 1 dull blade. Third rule, no co-op. And the last rule, we can only use the corresponding element for each region. Now that we've reviewed, let's see if Goku can solo Inazuma. We start our journey by ascending Goku, and after all the troubles that Goku has gone through, I felt that he should be rewarded for his efforts. Huh. Maybe I should have watched one of my other videos. We head over to our brooding spot in Liyue and discuss our next course of action with Paimon. We decided that we need to go to Inazuma, so we run over to the harbor to find an Inazuma native, Atsuko. Atsuko tells us that we can't get to Inazuma through normal means and suggests that we meet with Captain Beidou, who can take us there. On the ship, we meet Beidou, but that's not important, because next to her is the sexiest character in the game, Kaidahara Kazuha.
Don't be intimidated, Squidward. Try to imagine him in his underwear. Oh no, he's hot!
They invite us to join their tournament, and if we win, we get to choose between either a vision or a ticket to Inazuma. We sign up for the tournament and get ready for our first fight. Our first battle is against the almost perfect Jinyu. Don't get used to this damage. So, Coach Kazuha, what do you have to say for us?
You fought well.
In round 2, we fight the Dark Horse Rongshi. Nothing to say here. In our intermission, Coach tells us that our breathing is incredible, which makes sense given Goku's voice actor. Coach takes us to the coast so we can demonstrate our real skills with him. As a reward, he tells us about the Vision Hunt decree and
the almighty Raiden Shogun.
We head back to the tournament and find out that our last opponent has taken the vision and fled the scene. After catching Faye the Flyer, Coach tells us to duel for the vision. We win the duel, and Coach tells us why this vision is so important to him. Long story short, Coach had a friend who wanted to see
the Muso no Hitotachi.
However,
the Muso no Hitotachi
can only be used whenever someone needs divine punishment. But since Coach's friend is into BDSM, he goes to receive punishment from
the almighty Raiden Shogun,
and he dies. Now Kazuha holds on to his vision, searching for someone who is into BDSM as much as his friend was. We collect our prize, and we set sail for Inazuma. In Inazuma, we meet Bootleg Child.
Hi, I'm Rob Lowe, and I have DirecTV. And I'm peaked in high school, Rob Lowe, and I have cable.
He helps us register for a residency application. Afterwards, we follow a guard using the best stealth mechanics from the best stealth game of all time. We find evidence of the guards' wrongdoings, and we confront the guards about their actions. The tension starts to escalate, but Child whips out something graphic, which understandably causes the guards to leave. We talk to Child, and he tells us that his name is actually Toma, and he is the assistant to Kamisato Ayaka, and that Ayaka wants us to join them in their rebellion against the Raiden Shogun, but we decline. Good for you, Goku. You're showing some character development. But we are stuck in Rito. Shinsuke says he can help us leave the island, and we have a moment with his daughter.
Then we had a little, eye contact. I hope you were using protection.
We meet her after dark, but we get friend-zoned because she just wants us to bring a letter to her lover. Before we reach the rest of the island, let's change to Electro. And since we've got a new element, let's see our artifacts. We are still running a 2-piece Exile and 2-piece Berserker set with an attack percentage goblet. I used Exile because I want energy recharge, since the energy cost for our ult is 80 for some reason. And we still have Berserker because you already know. Before this challenge, I was really looking forward to using Electro Traveler. No one really talks about this character, and I never used him on my main account at all. I started to think, maybe this character isn't bad. He's just underused. And after one mission, I realized I was right. Electro MC isn't bad. He's fucking horrible! We find out that Toma is actually a dog, and we go on a field trip. We see the statue of the omnipresent god.
You want the numbers, Mason?
And we head over to the Kamisato residence. Kamisato Ayaka introduces herself and asks for our help to repeal the Vision Hunt decree, which basically goes like this.
We're not joining your team.
I'm putting together a team.
We're in.
The first thing we need to do is help some people who lost their visions. We convince the first guy to stay by telling him to think harder. We make a samurai feel bad by telling him what his sword says. And we watch an old guy suffer from emotional damage. After helping people, we get to see Best Girl. I'm sorry, she's not Best Girl.
I can't do this! This heart beats for another!
Ayaka tells us to rescue Master Masakatsu with the help of Yoimiya. We head into the police dungeon and Yoimiya decides to split up with us for some reason, and we clear the dungeon. We find Master Masakatsu, and Sara lets him leave with us because she was in a good mood, I guess. I wasn't paying attention. We regroup at the tea house, and we get locked out of the next part of the Archon quest. But hey, at least it's not AR locked. However, after seeing my damage in the last dungeon, I knew I needed to make some changes. I decided to get the Pale Flame set because most of my damage is coming from the Dual Blade. So we changed our set to a 2-piece Scholar and 2-piece Pale Flame set. We start the Ayaka Quest, which is just her trying to find her mom's friend. We go to a rock and find a notebook. Ayaka reads the notebook and finds out that her mom's friend was actually her mother. Huh? We go on a date with Ayaka, and we find out that we supposedly have good luck, which, sure. But the quest wasn't entirely useless because we got to see her wet socks.
Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it. Oh my god. It even has a watermark.
We start Yoimiya's quest by shattering the dreams of children.
There is no Easter Bunny, there is no Tooth Fairy, and there is no Queen of England.
We help a fugitive escape Inazuma, and Paimon gets ignored by Yoimiya.
Fireworks. What do they mean to you?
We head back to the tea house and find out that Toma is the 100th recipient of the Vision Hunt decree, so we have to go to the ceremony in order to save him. We intervene with an ability I wish we had, but instead we have this, and the Shogun decides to punish us with
The Muso no Hitotachi!
We take on the Shogun, and we lose. So, I decided to change strategies. I swapped to a 2-piece Berserker and 2-piece Pale Flame set because our abilities and ult are completely useless since the Shogun is immune to Electro. And we still lost. So for round 3, I decided to prepare some food for the fight, and we actually won.
You got knocked the fuck out!
Shogun, who was that?
His name is John C.
Toma tells us to go look for the Resistance, so we head out to find General Goro. But before that, I changed my artifacts to a 2-piece Berserker and 2-piece Scholar set, because Scholar is just cooler exile. We help some loser from the Samurai, and he takes us back to the base.
Now that you mention it, we did.
The Virgin takes us to the archery grounds, and if you want to learn about that experience, just watch this. The only way for Goku to complete this challenge solo would be for the lightning to strike only the blue targets, which is basically impossible. So, I had to call on some help to complete this challenge.
Vegeta!
Dad, it's you!
Vegeta shows up and helps us clear the quest after 63 attempts. We flank some troops and then head out to the front line, and we engage in some of the most grueling battles of our journey.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch Springboard! Cover! Mysterio got it!
Yay! I've always wanted to play a game where I'm a little girl shooting bubbles.
Kokomi introduces herself and asks us to meet her at the Sangonomiya Shrine. Oh, and we get a constellation, which is definitely something. We become the Rookie of the Day, and Kokomi gives us the rank of Swordfish 2. We showed the squad our skills, and then Kokomi asked us to go check on some ruins for some reason. At the ruin site, there are 3 electro pillars, but since the pillars are time-based, I cannot do the puzzle. My skill is on too long of a cooldown, and my ult does not work on the pillars. I even tried to chain the lightning off of an enemy onto the pillar, but that didn't even work. And after 30 minutes of trying, I realized it could not be done. So Goku is going to have to get some help.
I've shared some of my energy, only a small pittance, but enough. Now you can move even in your sad state.
We take out the Biggie Churl and find out that the Resistance have been getting delusions from the Fatui. Thankfully, Teppei dies as a result, and we head off to the delusion factory. We entered the factory, and I could not beat it. We just did too little damage, and even with food, I couldn't stay alive for most of the dungeon. I was stuck. I could not progress, and it seemed like the challenge was over.
Never again.
But remember who we're talking about. This is Goku. Goku always surpasses his limits. So we spent the next day training. We grinded food, Ronin, books, and a constellation. So that way Goku could become stronger. We went back to the factory, and after entering retirement with my wife and kids, we were successfully able to beat the quest. Scaramouche drugs us and Yaimiko saves us. And fun fact, she will be the 5th playable character in this game who has their feet out. Yaimiko takes us to Shogun training, and thanks to my experience of fighting the Shogun 3 times, I only managed to get hit twice. Not trying to brag or anything. Next is round 2, which was really annoying because of the shield enemies. We talk to Yai and find out that she's the Shogun's pet, and she leads us back to the shrine to meet a guest. We inform Sara that the Kujo Commission has been in dealings with the Fatui, but she doesn't believe us, so we have to go find the evidence. We meet Sayu, who, fun fact, was the 2nd playable character in the game to have their feet out, and she agrees to help us by snatching the evidence. We set off some fireworks and head back to the tea house. We collect the evidence and show it to Sara, who storms to the head of the Tenryou Commission. Goku solos the Tenryou Commission, and we find out who is behind all of this. La Senora!
What are you doing here?
We make some food and confront Senora at the top of Tenshukaku.
I challenge you to a duel before the throne!
Proceed. You are aware that
You're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
We duel with Senora, and after 7 minutes, we bring her life points down to 0. After smashing Senora,
The almighty Raiden Shogun and the Muso no Hitotachi!
kill her, and we leave the temple.
Thunder breathing. First form. Thunderclap and flash.
We talk to the real Shogun, and we begin our final battle. We find out what the numbers mean.
I remember!
And we defeat the Raiden Shogun with our dull blade. And the Vision Hunt decree is over. We get our 3rd constellation and talk to Yaimiko about the next nation, Sumeru. She tells us that knowledge is a valuable resource to their people, and gives us some information about their god, Lesser Lord Kusanali. And with that, our journey in Inazuma is over. That's the video. Thank you for watching. As of right now, Goku is caught up with the main story of the game. I know there's a new Archon quest with Shinha, but I don't really plan on doing a video about that because it's so short. I'll probably just do it on my own time. My prediction is that Sumeru is going to be out between May and July. I have no basis for that, that's just my prediction. So it'll probably be a while before Goku sees the light of day again. This challenge has been fun. Annoying at times, but fun. It required me to think more, and made me better mechanically. This experience honestly reminded me of why I love Genshin. And if you're currently bored with Genshin, I would highly recommend starting another account. Definitely do not do this challenge, but just make another account and have fun with the game. And hopefully, it'll bring back those good memories of seeing Mondstadt for the first time, or walking into Stormterror's lair for the first time. Thank you for being a part of this journey with me, and thank you for being you. You all mean a lot to me, more than you'll ever know. So drive safe.
Tell me why